Hey guys, welcome to Blaugrana Outfit. Welcome to another video, and today I wanted to talk about what will Pep Guardiola do if he was to grab Barcelona this season. What would he do with the squad? Who would he keep? Who would he sell? Who would he bring in? And how he would do it during this season. And I think that this is a good comparative because I think that Barcelona right now are in a very similar state when Pep Guardiola decided to come in, when we brought in Pep Guardiola to be our first team coach. I think that comparisons, things that are similar, is that we're reaching an end of cycle, obviously, likes of Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez, Rakitic, Piqué, Jordi Alba, Busquets. You have all these players over 30. Not saying that we need to get rid of all of them. I'm just saying they were part of one cycle of Barcelona, and we are reaching the time where we are supposed to make a new cycle, to start a new project. It's something similar to that. Back then, Frank Rijkaard had the likes of Deco, Ronaldinho, Eto'o, he had Rafa Marquez, and Pep Guardiola came in and built a new project. I think that it is very important to recognize that this is similar. In a very similar situation where Barcelona in 2007-08 season, they had a really bad season, no trophies for the second season in a row. I think 18 points from Real Madrid in La Liga, and it was an absolutely shambolic season. Barcelona were doing pretty bad. It was not good at all. And I think if we compare to this season, okay, we've won the La Liga title, we reached the Copa del Rey final, and we were in touching distance of the Champions League final. In all words, it was a good season. But if we examine on a deeper level, we won La Liga because we had no contest for La Liga during the whole season, because Madrid and Atletico Madrid didn't even reach 80 points. So we were clearly in head better than everyone else. I think that it is clear to anyone that understands football that Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid for the past couple of seasons have been reaching way more points than they did this season. So congratulations on La Liga. It is a great achievement. I repeat it every time. Every year you win La Liga is a great season. But we have to recognize that we won La Liga this season. But next season, if the other teams improve and we stay like this, we might not win La Liga. The Champions League, the moment that we face an elite club like Liverpool, we went out. And we've been going out against Roma, against Juventus, and we conceded 4 against Paris Saint-Germain. So it's been like this for a couple seasons already. And I think we all know that something has to change. It can be Neymar, it could be Griezmann, it could be both, it could be completely something different. We don't know what's going to happen. We have an idea what's going to happen, and this is not a video to rant about Neymar or Griezmann. This is not the video for that. I will be releasing a video soon about other things like Neymar, Griezmann, Coutinho, Dembele. All these kind of things will be coming in future videos, but this video is more to emphasize on what Pep Guardiola would do if he was to become Barcelona manager for this upcoming season. Now, it is not going to happen, obviously. That is the best case scenario, is that we get the best coach in our history to come back to us. But what would he do? And I have a pretty defined idea of what Pep Guardiola would do if he was to be Barcelona manager for next season. To start with, okay, Jasper Citizen has left. I think that he would have given Iñaki Peña the opportunity to go up, but I understand that to sell Jasper Citizen and help with financial fair play, okay, if you do that trade, you get Neto, fine, he'll play the Copa del Rey games. I think he would be okay with that. Obviously, this is assuming that Pep Guardiola is given the power that he was given back then. That means that he was able to get out at Ronaldinho, Deco, and a lot of other players that he felt were no longer needed in the project and that were going to be more a hindrance to the project than helpful to him in this new Barcelona project. He will obviously keep Marc-André Ter Stegen as his number one goalkeeper. You would have a back four of Nelson Semedo, Clement Lenglet, Matthijs de Ligt, and Jordi Alba. I think that one of the players that he would cut out of the squad would be Gerard Piqué. I think that he was already having problems in his last season with Piqué, and so from then Piqué, I think, has grown into a more of a personality that is not good to the squad. In a very similar level, Piqué is very similar in attitude to the likes of, Deco, for example, and I think that is a personality that Guardiola doesn't like in his teams. He's never been very fond of players like that in his teams. And for example, let's just put an example to that. He brought in Ibrahimovic and only lasted one season because of that attitude. So I think that he would do the same to Gerard Piqué. This assuming that he's given the power that he needs to build this project. Obviously, I think Clement Lenglet, for the season that he's had, he would keep it in the team. Samuel Umtiti would be, fighting for the starting spot. You would have 3 starter center backs as you had in the 2008-09 season, where you had Rafa Marquez, Puyol, and Piqué. You would have Jordi Alba undisputedly on the left, with Marco Guerra on as the backup. He would trust in La Masia. He would bring the youth. Nelson Semedo would play as a right back, as our mainstay right back, with Sergio Roberto covered in both in midfield and in right back, and whatever he's need to, just like he had other players to do that kind of role for him before in his previous Barcelona team that won the treble. He would have in central midfield a starting spot of Sergio Busquets, of Frenkie de Jong, and Artur. He would sell Rakitic, and that is the other statement player that he would sell. I believe that Pep Guardiola would do everything in his ability to take out these 2 players in the squad, and those will be the only 2 players that he would sell in order to kickstart this project. I think that is as much as he's going to touch. There's other 2 players that are going to be question marks, because I think he would give them a season and evaluate them based on the season that they're going to have. Something similar to what he did to Samuel Eto'o. He wanted to have Eto'o out of the team in the 2008-09 season, but he wasn't able to. Therefore, he decided to give him a trial season, and Eto'o unfortunately did not pass the season and was sold the following season at the end of the treble. So he would sell even Rakitic, and he would have Busquets, Frenkie de Jong, and Artur. I think that it's very clear to everyone what that midfield would play for Barcelona. It would be absolutely sensational. He would play with very possession heavy pace. Frenkie de Jong and Artur are masters of the ball. They are very similar to Xavi and Iniesta. Maybe not at the level, but of a similar standard. I think that he would keep Felipe Coutinho. He would give Felipe Coutinho a spot in the midfield. He would try to play him in midfield and heavily use him. I think that I think he's one of the few coaches that would actually make Coutinho play in central midfield, and they could actually turn him into a central midfielder. He's turned Iniesta, he's turned Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne. He's turned a plethora of players that were number 10s and turned them into central midfielders that were one of the best in the world. So I think that with Felipe Coutinho, he could do a really good season. And if he doesn't work out, maybe he doesn't suit to play midfield, he would tell him the following season, but he would give him a lot of minutes and a lot of opportunities to play midfield, unlike Valverde that gave up on him the moment that he made one mistake in one game against Leganés. Obviously, he would give opportunities to the likes of Aleñá, of Riqui Puig. He would promote them to the first team. He would play them a lot. He would give them a lot of minutes. When the likes of Felipe Coutinho gets out of the club and he's about 30, or he starts lowering performances, he sells them and promotes Riqui Puig to be that player that fights with Frenkie de Jong and Arthur for the starting spot, and maybe one day we can have a midfield starting spot of Frenkie de Jong, Arthur, and Riqui Puig, with Aleñá playing a lot of minutes. Obviously, he would keep Arturo Vidal. Arturo Vidal would be kind of his Seydou Keita, that was give him a lot of energy in midfield, a lot of intensity, a lot of high pressing. He already played with Guardiola at Bayern, so he would know Arturo Vidal very well and know that if he's fit, he is a very good asset to have at the club. Obviously, I said Sergio Roberto, he would keep it in the squad. He's a very useful player. Guardiola likes those kind of players, maybe like Alexander Zinchenko, that he's a central midfielder, more like a number 10, and he turned him into a really interesting left back. So same thing with Sergio Roberto, could cover very well right back if need be, and could play in the defensive midfield and central midfield position. He would give players like Oriol Busquets and Ludovic Reis some opportunities in the midfield, and it would be really interesting to see that going forward. In the forward line, he would have the likes of Luis Suarez, Lionel Messi, Ousmane Dembele, and Malcolm. He would have these 4 forwards, and this is where I think that he would give Luis Suarez a trial season. If Luis Suarez is going to accept playing less minutes, but still playing a lot, because in this forward line you see Luis Suarez, Messi, and Dembele that are playing. They're going to be the starting spot. It's going to be in a 4-3-3, Messi of the right, Suarez in the middle, and Dembele of the left, with Malcolm playing, subbing in both wings. And then you've been able to do a lot of good things with Barcelona. You have 4 interesting forwards, with Abel Ruiz playing that sporadic role whenever need be that he needs to play. I think Abel Ruiz could do a perfectly good game. And if Luis Suarez needs to rest, you have Lionel Messi playing as a false 9, Dembele and Malcolm off the wings, and so on and so forth. Now the other option is you sell Malcolm and you bring in Griezmann. Then okay, I'm not sure if Guardiola would accept bringing in Griezmann, but if he feels like he could do with Griezmann, then fine. You sell Malcolm, you bring in Griezmann, you have Griezmann, Suarez, and Messi starting, with Dembele subbing in both wings, Griezmann also helping Luis Suarez rotate in the forward line, and progressively you use Abel Ruiz whenever you need him. I think that is a very healthy forward line. You have a lot of players that can play everywhere else, and if you need him, you use Coutinho in the forward line. If you need him, just as when Guardiola needed Iniesta to play in the forward line, he played Iniesta in the forward line. He uses the new Iniesta in his preferred position, and whenever he needs him to cover in the forward line, you play Coutinho in the forward line. Other than that, he plays in central midfield. I think that the most promising thing about this would be Ousmane Dembele and Lionel Messi. Like Messi, for obvious reasons, the best Messi that we've seen is being under Pep Guardiola, and I think that we would still get good things out of him. And Dembele would probably be another thing that would excite me a lot, because let me just put it this way: the output that Dembele is giving at this age compared to what Raheem Sterling used to give at his age is day and night in comparison. Dembele is miles and ahead better than Sterling when Sterling was Dembele's age. I think that his output, because there's in a similar speed, I think they both have similar speed, like they're both really fast in both acceleration and sprint speed. But I think Dembele, okay, he's not as a clinical dribbler as Sterling, but he's a fantastic dribbler still, especially in the speed dribbling department, and he is a better finisher than Sterling at his age, because he can play with both feet, off the left, of the right. That is something that Sterling cannot do. He's not very good with his left foot. That is something that I think he still needs to work on. Dembele can play, is perfectly proven that he can play with both feet, and that is an asset for any forward, because you can confuse defenders with that. You don't know if he's going to go off the left, he's going to go off the right. He has a good shot on him, and his decision making is better than what Sterling's used to be. So if Guardiola was able to turn Sterling into what this season, what was Sterling's like stats this season? It was like 30 plus goals and 20 plus assists or something like that, or 15 plus assists, something between those lines. So if you were able to do that with Raheem Sterling, and I think Dembele has an even higher ceiling, they can shoot with both feet, and that at this age, day and time, was better than Sterling when Sterling was Dembele's age. I think that, honestly, I'm not kidding you, Dembele could be a 50 goal a season player and a 20 assist a season player. Like, he has potential to be, after Messi retires, one of the best players in the world, if not the best player in the world. Because, like, I swear, if you're able to do that with Sterling, what could you do with Dembele? at Barcelona, where you have a team that is arguably better than that Manchester City team that he would have. This team that you're seeing right there, it would be better, in my opinion, that Pep Guardiola's current Manchester City team. Mainly because you have the best player in history, it's Lionel Messi, and you have a player similar to both Sané and Sterling in Dembele, and you have, in my opinion, a better number 9, Luis Suarez, who presses a lot. And if you were to have Griezmann, he can also press. He's proven to press in Simeone's system. And if you keep Malcolm, then you have a player that is very young and it's hungry for minutes and wants to play. So he would give it all for the shirt. I believe that this is a healthy theme. You're not changing too many things. Like if you are bringing in Griezmann, okay, you sell Malcolm. If you're keeping Coutinho, you're giving Coutinho an opportunity. If he succeeds, then you keep him, and if not, you sell him, and you basically try to get your money back for him. You only get out of Rakitic, who, let's be honest, we're also excited for Frankie de Jong. I don't think we're gonna be too bothered about letting Rakitic go. And the likes of Piqué, if it means that we get Matthijs de Ligt in, and that he's gonna be guaranteed minutes. Because if Piqué leaves, I bet you that if Piqué left already, Barcelona, Matthijs de Ligt would have been signed already. Matthijs de Ligt, if Piqué was, there was rumors of Piqué leaving, Matthijs de Ligt would be a Barcelona player by July the 1st. Let's just put it that way. That's my belief at least. I could be wrong. This is not bashing any players. I think that I'm so grateful for Piqué, Rakitic, for all that they give into the shirt, and they would definitely make it into one of my best Barcelona teams in history. But that doesn't mean that it's not time to progress. Eventually, all of these players will need to leave Barcelona. Suarez eventually is gonna have to leave Barcelona. Even Messi. If Messi, the best player in history, eventually will end his career, so will everyone else, and we need to be able to transition into that. So this is what I think Guardiola would do. I think that it's similar to what I would do. I would maybe do one or two things differently, but I feel that Guardiola would do something like this, and it would be very great. I honestly think that it would be a really strong team, and we could do very good things going forward. So with all that said and done, leave me a comment in the comment section below. Do you think that Guardiola would do something like this? Do you think that this is a good project? Leave me your opinions in the comment section below. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one, Blaugranas.